but basically, uh, but basically, when a variable, um, is a pointer, just call it a pointer. But when it's an array, again, that wouldn't be a bad idea to point it out as an array, especially, since these arrays can be multidimensional. But array and a pointer are really the same fucking thing. Uh, the only difference is going to be, when you use the size of operator on it. But we'll get to that. Um, okay, but this section, we're going to deal with select case. Um, now, so our switch case rather, select case and VB. But we're doing these four next loops, and really that's a topic of itself. It's you know pretty unbelievable some of the crap you can do with the for loop. Plus, you don't actually have to enter all these different sections. In other words, I could, for example, leave this out completely in some cases, especially when you're iterating through objects and stuff like that, because you can do that. There's a lot of bizarre tricks you can do with this for loop, and it's rather remarkable. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find all those areas in Chili's framework where he kind of does that. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Let me go see if some of those are over here. I think I vaguely remember where he did those at one point in time, but I don't know if it was in this program or not. Yeah, I mean, I know in some of his programs, he did some interesting tricks with it, but I don't know if I recorded snippets of his videos where he did that or not. The for loop, though, it's kind of mind-boggling, because you can use it just your plain old way, but boy, you can perform some interesting operations with it. It's pretty remarkable how versatile of a statement that for loop is, or how remarkable of a programming tool it is. Yeah, I don't really see it in here. I don't, 'cause I know it was in here on one of his programs that he used it, but I know it was something that I typed in, so I know it's in one of my versions of code if I end up going through his framework. I don't know if I'm going to get that in depth with it or not. But anyway, it's just something to keep in mind. But to move back to our code. Okay, so we're in this switch case statement, and you know, we're switching here based on the variable I, and then we're making a scope for the entire statement. Okay, and then within that scope, um, we're doing a switch here. Oh, duh. I was looking at up there, not here. But yeah, within that scope, in fact, if you click on the print, oh yeah, if you click on on that, normally I wouldn't do this way. I don't like this style. It makes it more confusing. Even though Microsoft kind of by default in a lot of their Windows stuff, they use that style there, and I don't like that. Of the scope following immediately and being in line with the ending scope, it makes it easier to fucking see how your code's structured. But at any rate, that's the primary scope of that. But now for each case, we have a case, a number here, and a colon, and then a new scope. The scope is not necessary, though. I mean, you can actually have this statement on the end of it with no scope at all, kind of like we do down here. Okay, we're doing this statement here and then putting a semicolon on it to terminate it. Now, if you do this, what'll happen though is it'll fall through on the scope, because we have this break command, and that's necessary for a loop structure like this. So, it'll switch case, it'll find case where I equals 1, basically, and then it'll go down here and execute this and then break out of the loop completely. But here, if it equals 7, it'll come down here and say, okay, it'll print out, using the cout statement to the console an I, but then it'll do the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one until it ends. So that can be useful, but it's just something to keep in mind. Shit. Okay. Okay, well, I'll just stop it. Okay, three errors. Three errors. Okay, that's on line 277. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so, okay, well, maybe that is a problem then. Even though it wouldn't give me an error in debug mode. Shit. Wait a minute. Oh, there is no array C because I renamed it. Shit. B-A-R-A. Okay, there we go. Let's try to rerun it. I don't see any other errors. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. Alright, so, nice debugging exercise. Okay, so, you can see what it's doing. In the code here. So, like I said, basically, set for, this, again, for loop, put that down there. So now we know how big the for loop is, more visibly. Cout. Okay, so it's printing out I, but it's doing it from 0 to 10, so it's going to iterate 11 times, but it's only going to trigger, on the defined cases, like 1, 3, 7, 8, 9, etc. So, although interestingly enough, that should iterate multiple times. Wait, where are we? Oh, that's in the process. God damn it! It's in the process of iterating through the loop. Okay, we don't really do anything there, so I'm just gonna run to that point. Okay. Alright, yeah, so that makes more sense. So yeah, you can see it running multiple iterations, for each value of I. So anyway, you can kind of see what it's doing there. Let's see. It looks like we're going to do a factorial. Okay, and I think this is just a little little function I did that's non-recursive, using the switch case statement. Um, so, again, it's confusing to me because, god damn it, the scope thing. Also, try never put my notes where that is, my little comments. But at any rate, this goes through the factorial, depending on where you enter, and so, it's expecting a value from the user, okay, and you enter that, and then it prints out the factorial. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. Okay, so a number like, let's say 9, that's fine. Okay. The fuck is this? Well, 5, I entered 9, they gave us 81. So, I guess. God damn it! Okay. I don't know what the hell this code is doing, really. Because I know that's not true. I don't know what I was doing with this code. I was just fucking around with it, apparently. This doesn't really even remotely make sense. Anyway. Yeah, I think I wrote this when I didn't know what the fuck I was doing yet. So I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to try to figure it out. I mean, I know, that okay, we're saying X. What the fuck is this? Oh. X equals X times X. And we're saying Xi equals Xi times 9. Print out X and Xi. Well, why are we doing that? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rerun it. Okay, I'm going to enter like 7. Still a bunch of gobbledygook. I mean, that's not at all true. I don't know what it's doing. But again, I'm not going to bother with it. This isn't a fucking tutor on the factorial function. I know I did one somewhere else that works really well. But, you can see how the case statement, sort of works. And you can evaluate them backwards like this, I think. That's not a problem. So, god damn it. Yeah, because I mean, it starts with 7, you know, as the first case it's evaluated. So it's going basically, you know, 7 equals 7 times 49, okay. You know, basically x equals x times x, so it's giving us 49, but now I can see why this is growing so big. But we're saying xi equals xi times 9, xi equals 1, so that was by default. So as you can see here, so that's multiplying 1 times 1. What the fuck? Okay, so it's multiplying, you know, 1 times 7, so it equals 7. Okay, and then it should equal 7 times 6, and then it should equal 6 times 5. But again, I know, well, factorial 7 may be that big, but I don't know, I can't remember. Where's this fucking key on the calculator? Okay. Fuck off, you fucking piece of shit. Okay, so the answer is 5040. So it does calculate it for xi. You know, the x is really screwing up. I don't know what you're doing over there, but that is the correct answer. So anyway, I was dealing with this other recursive algorithm recently, and I didn't forgot what it was to find the Fibonacci sequence numbers is what it was, and that's why I wasn't expecting it to be that big that early on. But anyway, let's see. Okay. Anyway.